give you my thoughts on what I watched.
Okay.
Okay, so
Do you
I'm
want to
recording
talk
now.
about Ilsa first or Devil Story?
We can do Devil Story first.
Okay.
Because that one I feel like
It's a
might
better
be a little
movie.
more difficult to talk about.
Well, it had a surreal aspect to it.
Yeah.
Because I think in the red letter media they left you with a cliffhanger, which was probably why I watched it in the first place. It was to see what happened, and it's like, yeah, the ending was. I enjoyed it.
It,
I could see
yeah,
you have to be a
it was
certain.
enjoyable. I
Uh,
just, as far as like a
like
synopsis,
I guess I
I don't
watched
know
it.
how to summarize it.
Um,
Uh,
there's
because I have no idea what the fuck happened in that movie.
there were several different things going on that really was like straight out of a comic book or what's those old pulp like Frankenstein, Mummy, and like all that
Yeah, like the
lore.
pulp comics.
Yeah, it felt like an homage to that. Without, I guess
Yeah.
it's like if you're coming from a foreign language, you have different takes on the language. Like,
hmm
uh, like the history of words is different.
When I first started it, I thought I didn't really put it together, but there's it's like both of the movies that we have right now are both Nazi exploitation movies because I
Uh,
saw the guy wearing the SS jacket,
oh, was he? I
like the
missed that.
mutant guy. Yeah, like the
Okay.
jacket he's wearing through the whole thing is like an SS officer's jacket, but
Hmm.
they
Okay.
never mention it and they never explain it.
I didn't notice at all.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go back and look at like his collar, it's got like the SS symbol on it. So I thought like I guess we have a theme because they're both Nazi related movies. Uh and we're recording on January 20th of 2025, so it's fitting. Anyway, um but it's not really a Nazi exploitation movie at all because it just never mentions it. He just happens to be wearing it, which was a
Yeah,
choice.
and that part, it's hard to tell if that was real or not.
Yeah, well, that's what makes me kind of see what you're saying about the comic book aspect of it, because a lot of those old comics like that would
Twilight
just
Zone.
it would just be part of the artwork that he just happens to be wearing that, and you know
Mm-hmm.
why? Who knows?
Well, I mean, it looked cool.
Um,
That's,
yeah.
I mean, Star Wars
Um,
totally stole the Nazi uniform digs. Just a,
oh yeah, fascist iconography is it's a shorthand for bad guy, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
But uh, I don't think this movie's about Nazis. And
I was kind of
I'm not even
wondering
sure.
about
Yeah,
the
like I said, I'm not
horse.
sure what it's about. The most coherent plot in the whole movie was just some old guy mad at a horse.
Well,
I'm not
that's,
even
it's
entirely
like
sure why.
I know there was supposed to be some type of lore or something, but it went over my head.
I have no idea what was going on with the horse. He shows up, horse shows up.
I mean, they got a lot of mileage out of that footage. It's,
I mean, it's
I,
easy to get mileage if you just repeat it over and over again.
well, that's the thing. I think the score, the way it was done,
hmm
um, like it made it where it wasn't boring. Like
No, I wouldn't say it was boring. Um, because it is. I wouldn't say that it was the type of movie that it's mostly curiosity of what's going to happen next, because it could be literally anything. You have no idea what's going to happen in the next moment. Uh, but not in like a suspenseful way, just in a pure curiosity way, you know?
Boats coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. The boat was confusing. I actually had to go back and rewatch the scene where the innkeepers are talking about what happened with the boat,
Oh, okay.
and they're giving the lore. But okay, so the boat crashed into the rocks because of these guys that tried to make it crash, I guess, so they could rob it. But that's about the only thing that's really explained. Uh, the the mutant guy with the Nazi uniform or the Nazi coat, I thought was supposed to be like a zombie or something. But then they do mention him and just say that he's deformed. That's it. He's just deformed, and he randomly kills people on the side of the road. Apparently, uh, I don't know why.
Yeah, I guess you could kind of fill in your own backstory. Like you experimenting with mustard gas or something.
Yeah, yeah. Or did you ever see Midsummer?
Hmm?
He looks. I thought he looked like the inbred oracle thing in
Oh, I forgot about
Midsummer.
that.
Yeah, that's what he kind of looked like to me. So maybe that's who it was.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess there's like the Elephant Man and
Hmm.
Nosferatu and a lot of deformed things you could go off of.
The guy from the Goonies.
I guess I was just thinking of Nazi experiments because of the Ilsa.
Oh yeah. So I was I thought, okay, I'll watch it today just to refresh myself because it's been at least a couple years since I saw that one. And unfortunately, the only DVDs I had the whole collection,
Ah,
and now I only have two of them, and neither one of them were the one you watched, so that was a little frustrating.
well,
Uh, so I jumped on Wikipedia to kind of refresh my memory, and it's what I remember, um, the whole like female supremacy because of the ability to withstand pain and all that.
yeah, it was
Uh,
very like I wanted to mention this, and this was true back then. During World War II, it's like they were doing this scientific method, but it was very like cherry picking data and just
yeah,
kind of killing people just because they.
yeah, just excuses to yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's like I know, like in one of my medical classes in college, they were talking about how they use the data from the Nazis to treat hypothermia. It's like when an airline pilot or whatever gets lost out at sea. It's like they know
mm,
the threshold of how long a human can survive, realistically speaking.
yeah, yeah. I haven't. I know that there are things that were learned from Nazi experiments. I just don't really. I've never taken the time to really dive into that like historical rabbit
I
hole. And
think one of the other things is they were one of the first to link cancer and cigarettes,
really, wow,
which,
that I did not know.
mm, yeah, I guess a lot of the pollution, it's like I don't know where you would get the idea that it wouldn't be harmful. but somehow.
I know. Yeah. It's always been a little baffling that people didn't catch on to maybe
Yeah.
breathing smoke just generally isn't good for you.
Yeah, that's a real head scratcher.
Yeah. Well, I think people have a tendency to make excuses that catch on because,
Well, I
like,
know if you do it and you enjoy it, then, you know.
yeah, it is enjoyable. Smoking is enjoyable.
Well,
You know,
nicotine is definitely, like there's uh,
it's a
neurons.
drug. Yeah.
Well, there's specific neurons in your brain and it, like, stimulates
Hmm.
your brain.
Yeah, and smoking other things is fun too. And I think that
I would
people just,
smoke more. It's just, like for me, it inhibits my memory too much. Like I remember nothing of what I've done.
oh, like weed, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can like rewatch old movies that you forgot about. There's that.
Well, the thing is I was using it for music, and
Mm.
I would like, play back what I recorded, and it was like an hour of the same note. I'm just like, okay, I had fun. Because it's like I
You have to,
remember being high and just like being endlessly fascinated with everything.
yes, I have that too. When I smoke, I get very fascinated by all kinds of shit. And then, but the reason I had to quit smoking is because things feel like I feel the reality of certain things when I smoke.
What do you mean?
Like things just feel more real. Like I don't know how to
Hmm.
describe it other than that. Um,
I guess
and
I'm remembering a few.
inevitably, I start thinking about like climate change or
Hmm.
fascism or something like that, and then
Okay.
I'm like spiraling into a panic attack. So
Like you,
I can't smoke.
well, I remember, when you smoke too much, and it's like I remember this one time specifically out behind the bar with my brother, and it's like my focus went so internal. Like
Hmm.
I saw my consciousness as like one cell in my body, and that cell is dying. So I'm like, shit, I'm dying. And I run home, go to
Wow.
bed, and it's just like having this like near death experience, but it's just
Yeah.
freaking out a lot.
Well, I remember there's one time I've been about that high, and it was actually with an edible.
It's easy to do.
We had, yeah, we had a brownie, and I think it was mismarked as far as it said like 25 milligrams or something like that,
Well, that's
which really isn't,
if you're not used to
that's not
that.
that
That
much.
I don't know. I guess it depends.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I had a friend. It's like no matter how much he took, it just wasn't doing it for him. And I think there's uh, certain activators that um, you know react differently. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we split it like four ways,
mhm.
and I had a big sugar cookie from the same company that was like 160 milligrams or some batshit crazy amount, right? And we're breaking off tiny pieces and eating it. But I ate like at one point I ate a big old chunk of that cookie, and I got high, but I didn't get like crazy high. So I thought, okay, well, this brownie, we can break it into four pieces and each have a piece and it'll be fine. But like it fucked all of us up for days. It ruined an entire
Days.
weekend.
Wow.
Um,
I don't
and I
think
was like, it was like the level of high where you're laying on the floor and you're like
that
reliving old childhood memories that you had forgotten about, and
haven't
then like
had that.
experiencing ego death, and like it was really fucked up.
But yeah, ego death has happened several times, enough where
Yeah,
I'm suspicious of death.
suspicious of death.
Yeah, just like the whole process. And
Mm,
maybe, yeah, it's like I remember this one. I don't know if you've seen this Netflix um, show that was like a point and click adventure or a choose your own adventure. What was it
okay.
called? Uh, I don't remember the
I
name of it.
remember. I think Black Mirror had like a
Oh yeah,
movie or
yeah,
something that they
yeah. It
did
was
that
like
with.
Snazzle Dwarf. I don't remember, but
Yeah. What
um,
was the name of that?
I don't know.
Bandersnatch? I don't know.
Something
I don't
like that.
remember.
But yeah, it's like I swear, like I was living in a video game and about to die if I went to sleep. So I had to stay up all night. That was a fun night.
Huh.
But yeah, I remember running around and I have this teddy bear that my grandmother gave me. I like to pretend he's like a spirit totem or something. Because my grandmother was kind of wonky. Like maybe she'd smoke and drink coffee and try to. She was bipolar, and it's like she would try to drive her car through the garage door, and I think she ended up in the asylum not too long after that. Like she died when we were in high school, like 97, something like that. So yeah, where I get a little of my bipolar tendencies.
Yeah, I think a lot of that might be hereditary. I'm not really sure what else there is to say about Devil Story.
I was thinking that too. It's like when after watching the Red Letter Media, it's like they pretty much nailed everything. I think the only thing maybe to add is I don't know if they probably don't even notice just because they're not like sound designers, but
uh,
it's just like the music structure of it. Um, like there was a scene where the girl is like tripping all over herself, so you can see her skirt. but
yeah,
and then she like runs into the forest, and the music changes, um, and it's hypnotic. It's like I guess I was comparing the movies. Like Ilsa has such a traditional score for that time, I think, or maybe
yeah,
in like the 60s or whatever. 'Cause I know it was made in 75 or something,
something like
but
that.
it's like
Yeah, Devil
the
Story's 86,
okay.
but Ilsa, I think, is a Canadian movie. I think,
I don't know.
uh, but it also has more of a budget.
Did it?
Uh,
I mean,
I don't.
I guess with Devil Story is like that it had the Mercedes and the. I mean, a lot of the special effects was serviceable, and it looks fantastic on the Blu-ray, whatever.
Yeah, the makeup effects, the blood, and the
Yeah, it's like when
it's
that guy got It's like I thought he actually got kicked in the head. It looked,
When the horse kicks him in the head.
yeah, I mean that shot looked like it, might have nicked him. But,
Yeah. Well, that's the only shot. I'm pretty sure that's the only shot where the horse and a human are in frame together.
that's true, and I kind of don't blame him for that because I'm
I don't
sure
either.
it was probably a handshake. It's like, you can fill my horse, but if you fuck up this, what, thoroughbred stallion, whatever, it's
Yeah.
like
That horse was really thrashing around in some of those shots too.
yeah. But it's like, I guess in that time, I think, mafioso connections. I
Oh,
watched,
just some
I watched,
who,
Carlito's Way and
whoever.
Godfather too
Oh
much.
yeah, that's Pacino, right?
Yeah, the actor is uh, De Palma, the director. I think he did Scarface.
Oh. Yeah, Brian De Palma did Scarface and shitload of other stuff that I can't think of right now. But
Well, Carlito's Way, we watched that a couple of years ago, and it was really good. It's like I remember watching it. We probably watched it in high school, and
I
I
was gonna
wasn't
say I remember watching that in high school, and I don't remember
like
ever watching it again.
yeah, because at the time, I guess we were maybe too young to appreciate some of the nuances. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's really good.
yeah, maybe I should give that one another watch. I know it's got. Is that the one? Yeah, I think it's got John Leguizamo in it, right? Like he comes back
Oh,
at the end and shoots him. Is that him?
oh, I don't know.
Mm.
I'm terrible with actors.
Oh, okay. I'll have to rewatch it. It's been like 30 years since I watched that movie.
Yeah,
Oh.
sounds all right.
Real quick, I would say that I would recommend Devil Story if you like B movies, if you like these types of movies, obviously.
Hmm.
Um, I recommend watching it on 1.5 speed because it's funnier.
Oh, take twice as
Uh,
long.
a lot of the a lot of the overacting is a lot funnier if it's
Hmm.
moving a bit quicker. So that's my recommendation.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it's sped up. That means half the time.
Yeah.
Because it's not that long of a movie to begin with. But I
No, it's
know,
pretty short.
what was that movie? Yeah, there's some art house movies that are a lot better at double speed. Just because
Yeah.
they tend to indulge. Like you mentioned Midsummer, what is it, Ari Aster. Like I
Hmm.
think his first two movies would be so much better if they were half the time. Like a 90-minute movie, like Hereditary and Midsummer both would have benefited a
Yeah, I
lot.
don't know. I think those are movies where you just kind of want to sit with everything that's happening and, they
Nah.
take their time. But I like those movies, so.
Well, I mean, I like them too, but honestly, it's not that deep. But that's, I guess, speaking of deep, talk about Ilsa.
Yeah, so overall, what did you think of Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS?
Um, well, I enjoyed it. I think the first time I watched it more than the second, but I think I figured out, like, because it's so hard to define, or I guess it's a grindhouse movie, exploitation, but it's more
Yeah.
like a Nazi fetish movie, kind of
Yeah, oh yeah,
glamorizing,
absolutely.
and it's like there's supermodels everywhere, which is
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's an excuse for, like,
I guess
I hate to say S&M because, like, real life S&M isn't like that, but you know, it's an excuse to put some of the aesthetic of S&M up on screen, I think.
well, I think what threw me off was the initial, like how they presented. They had this like red screen with a disclaimer saying like Nazis bad, or,
Hmm.
shame on the Nazis. And then you watch the movie and you're getting mixed signals. It's
Yeah.
like, these giant goddess, beautiful women, you know, torturing people in kind of a laughable way, especially when they're topless.
Hmm.
it's like it's like they ruined that message with just being unable to, like control their boners. It's like that's what it reminds me of. It's like the meme of the kids standing in line at the beach, whatever, and he's like hiding his boner. It's
Hmm.
like that's the what's coming at you.
So if they hadn't had the disclaimer at the beginning, like, would you have even had that thought,
I wonder.
or is it just
Probably
the
not.
disclaimer puts the idea in your head of the contradiction in the first place? You know?
Probably. Well, I mean, because some of the torture scenes are real, like mind worms. It's like, man, that's fucking awful.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that kind of sticks with you. But then, next messages, and the script is specifically wolf, like the American hunk stallion.
Right.
It's like that's just his character is so uh, such a like James Bond, except he's American. But
Hmm.
yeah, he's just like
Is
this.
that
Huh?
he's the character that she ends up fucking, but like keeping around, right?
Well, his superpower was that he, wouldn't.
Could come whenever he wants
Right. Like
or
so he,
something.
yeah.
Right.
So he was, like the Energizer Bunny. But yeah, it's like I was looking a little at IMDb because I didn't realize that this was part of a series and that they basically, I guess that's the whole hook of reality. It's like this was a successful movie, successful enough to get 3 or 4 sequels.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, I think it's one of those where the controversy itself caused it to be successful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it
Um,
has its. Well, I guess this is the time before widespread pornography is available too.
well, I mean, it was the what, mid 70s, I think.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well,
it's
75.
yeah, but I mean, it's like there's still. I
Yeah,
guess there's still that stigma, but like you can't just
sure,
download it on your phone like you can nowadays.
but it definitely was, like, right as the pornography industry was starting to explode. Um,
I guess I don't know a whole lot about that. Never,
yeah,
besides
I mean, I don't
looking
know
at
a
vintage
ton
stuff.
about the history, but I know Boogie Nights takes place right around that era,
Was
and
that?
it's kind of about the early days of the
Okay, I thought
pornography
that was a
industry.
dramatization. It's like that's not real, is it? Based off a true
No,
story.
it's not real. It's not real, but it is about an era.
Okay.
It's like a look at an
That's
era
another movie
in,
I haven't seen forever.
yeah. But I think it was right around the mid 70s is when the movie starts anyway. Uh, but yeah, I do think there's an element of exploitation movies from that period, like getting around the pornography thing by just being extreme with the horror, which creates a very strange mix
Mm,
of stuff on screen.
yeah.
Like they want to be titillating,
Well,
and
I know the pinnacle of that type of movie is what Salo, however you say that. The
what? Oh, Salo,
yeah, the Marquis.
Salo. Yeah,
I'm not sure. It's I is that Italian? Because I know Marquis was French, so but it's
yeah.
set in Italy. They
I'm not
adapted it,
sure.
but
I mean, I know there's like giallo movies, but I don't know if that's the same thing. I'm not really sure.
what about the other movies? I'm a little curious. Like, did they just take the character and plop her into
Oh,
other
the
scenarios?
other Elsa movies.
Yeah,
From what I remember, it's just the same crap every time.
so the same
Um,
movie pretty much. Because I
yeah, they
thought it
just do
was
it
like
different.
her
Like,
and the director, and I'm not sure who else. Like,
I
I
think
don't.
they just changed the setting somewhat.
Mhm.
Like, one of them is like Ilsa and the oil sheiks,
Yeah, it
and
just seemed like random weirdness.
yeah, yeah, I think it's just different settings for exploitation. I think is about it. Um, but I think if you've seen the original, you've pretty much you know what to expect from the others.